Good. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am losing the plot. So, just full burnout at the moment, but I'm trying to get back into it with just some simple modeling and started developing this kind of like city and just trying to create a whole bunch of building assets. Over here in the background, obviously we just got a bit of a volumetrics cloud to make the city look nice and pretty. What are you saying, Marco? And so yeah, I'm trying to create some like hero pieces to take up the skyline. So this is what I've come up with so far. And then we've got some other buildings here as well. So if we kind of go full night, elevation -10, you can kind of see how that is looking like that. Really liking that blue there. Obviously, once we start putting in some lights to project upwards, it'll look delish. Dennis, welcome. So if we were to just go like that, and then, for instance, if I were to just go light area, rotate Y 180. So if we did this, up, put it like so, 500. Then we were to bring back this -1. You kind of see how we've got this kind of nice illumination from below. Leo, welcome. Fergad Elix, welcome to the stream. Great opening. I can't remember what song it was. Just popped into my head. So this is what we're going to be doing. I do want to fill out the city as geometry nodes, but I don't know geometry nodes. And I can't find a tutorial that I need to use to build the city the way I want it. So I'm going to have to piece together a whole bunch of other tutorials and then create one specifically that I'm after, which is awesome. Sunday morning Blender times, catching you live. Thank you very much, the Crystal Hollow. Well done, Marco. It's currently 9:30 at night. I'm tired. But we will do stuff. So probably tonight, I might create another 2 or 3 hero buildings. Then the intention will be to create a whole bunch of little buildings. Roy Van Can, welcome. If anyone can, Roy can. Dominic 3D, I am absolutely tired, but I'm great. What about yourself, Dominic? Yes, so we're going to be creating a few more hero buildings. We're going to be creating a whole bunch of little buildings, and those little buildings are the ones that are going to fill up the ground. I would also like to maybe create some sort of highway or some sort of roadway. I'll be doing some sort of roadway just to kind of create a path. Do we have flying cars? I don't know, but I still think something. I don't know what. Famous reaction. Okay, so let's grab all this. Very simple building. The texture itself is just a plaster texture. So if we move that one to this, actually no, let's move everything over. And I also put some words on it just to kind of break up that silhouette of just a plain texture, like a plain material. I would like to do it on here as well. Actually, shower thought. I did have a shower thought about this. Let me jump into my main ship. Main ship. Where's my main ship? Let me go to my main ship, because the main ship has a texture that I want. Maybe the correction info. Yeah, I know you're saying words, and I've tried to play with it, and then it was just like punch in the face. Okay, so let's grab this piece. And then we'll do a Control V. Beautiful. Excellent. That's exactly what I wanted. Let's go delete. Let's get rid of this. And this should be T grunge. Perfect. So the idea that I have, where's my big building? Is to, oh no, I can't because I've got ambient occlusion on this thing. Okay, let's turn off the ambient occlusion for a little bit. So we'll check what it looks like beforehand. So let's just go 5. It does look better with the ambient occlusion. But the question is, shift right click, let's go into a plane, rotate X, I hate you. Actually, delete that. Let's grab this face, shift D, P, separate by selection, and I just want this face. GY 0.001. Perfect. Let's now come over into our grunge. Should be T grunge leaks. Then from here, let's go into UV editing. Let's go into the grunge. Let's go into medium, rotate, period key. Let's go into rendered view. All right, maybe we'll do a U project from view to make sure we got the right one. Nothing's there. Oh no, it is there. Very slight. So yeah, the idea is just to put a little bit of grunge maybe along those seams. Let's go U, make you a little bit brighter. Not too much. There we go. Perfect. Let's put an edge loop through here. And then we'll delete those. And then we can come in and push this back. A little bit extreme. That's fine. So we can just change their alpha to see how deep it is. And now we've just got this slight little grunge there, which isn't too bad. But is the grunge worth the ambient occlusion? Can't you just bake the texture on? Probably. I'm questioning that decision, Spooky. Oh, hang on, let's go back through the chat. Spooky's here. Welcome. I think I've seen a city biome superhive geoscatter. Okay. Yeah, I can look at that one. Geoscatter. Idiot. Yes. My graphics card seems to like it. What's cooking? We're creating a bit of sci-fi building, geometry nodes, topology. What you need to happen. So what I need to happen will be have, for the geometry nodes, to have like a base area of a whole bunch of little buildings, kind of like placed in random positions, and then manually come in, put the hero buildings to come through. And then probably once we put the highway in, it'll remove all the buildings underneath, or maybe even keep the buildings underneath. I don't know. But then draw a highway. I think that's what it is. Beautiful. I will check that out. Now, Spooky, back to you. I'm like, it makes sense to go to Unreal Engine because of the rendering, but I'm like, I can just render. I've just worked on a month thing for a whole month where I rendered it so many times at 4K, 60 frames a second. And I'm like, it wasn't that bad. Reject. Yes. Geometry nodes is something I got to sit down and learn. I think this is going to be that thing that'll make me sit down and learn it, play with it, and understand it. What else are you going to do? A full city or something else. It'll probably be a full city. And then with that, you know, we're going to obviously have like a volumetrics. Actually, no, I've already got that material somewhere. Material. And so we'll have something like this, probably not 0.02, 0.02, 0.02. And then kind of like, yeah, have play with that. I've got to soften this edge here, but it'll have that nice fog is the intention. 0.005. That looks pretty cool. And especially like when the ship's coming over and landing. And I mean, I don't want to put too much effort into it because this shot probably won't be used too much. It'll be an entry shot into kind of like a landing dock. And then from there, it'll obviously when it flies out. So we're not going too far. No, I haven't. I have not. And that's purely because I don't know if you've noticed, no freaking videos. A little bit of laziness, but a little bit of just, I burn out. That's all it is. So now, trying to get back in. Go fog yourself. Pretty much, I'm going to go fog myself. So, let's start off with Let's start off by creating some smaller buildings. Now, we're not going to have to worry about too much details, but we will. I did see it come up. So let's go GZ -1. So this is a 5-story building because everything is scale at 0.2 is how many floors there are. So if we did kind of like this, that is going to be our building. Now what I did as well is I created this piece here. So if I bring that over, snap it down. So I've already created almost like a bit of a template where if I want to create a whole bunch of windows for like an office building, I can now start applying that. And this really works in kind of like this hero building here, where you can see that it's already been textured. It's got glass on it. And so now I can use that piece to kind of copy and paste and put it into other areas. Seems to me if everyone changed volume settings 0.02, Blender needs to rethink those settings. I was thinking about that, and I knew you were going to ask me as soon as you came on. And so I'm going to come back to that. I want to try to learn geometry nodes, just start geometry solution. Yeah. And that's pretty much the method that I'm going for. I've now got a use case to use geometry nodes. So now I can sit down and learn, this is what I want to do. How do I do it? And then build from there. Warning, bad joking coming on my own. What is the favorite brand of sports shoes for chicken? Reeboks. Let me counteract with you. Exceptional dad jokes only. Reading about 2 insects who fall in love in Italy. It's a romance novel. The sequel isn't good. It moves to the floor ants. Yesterday I opened up my electricity bill and water bill at the same time. I was shocked. I'm so good at sleeping, I can do it with my eyes closed. Yep. Those are my 3 jokes for you, buddy. Now, come on, let's go build stuff. Just going to move that one out of the way for now. And so what we're doing is creating something super simple. Now, technically, we could probably grab the building modular pack that we created earlier. That would actually make a lot of sense, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to kind of just start slapping something together. So with these, GZ 0.05, so our ground floor is a little bit bigger. Let's give it something like this. Do something a bit fancy. Let's go 3, 3, and we'll leave the back end by itself for now. deselect that one, deselect that one, and we'll start with an I to do an inset, individual origins, come up to the top here, individual orange again, and let's just do I to do an inset. Yes. Let's do one like that for now. Go away, watch. And then with that one, let's create two materials. This one here is going to be the lights material and assign. And so we can come back and we'll fix that up. And down the bottom here, maybe what we might do is let's just go I, massive individual origin, something like that. And with these buildings, they're not going to have to be super high poly because we have already said that this is going to be a shot that we're not really going to see too much details, because obviously if we're kind of like super far away, that's all we're going to see. So let's go into building, and then we'll UV unwrap all that together. And then from here, maybe we can even assign that to there. Now that's stupid, but that's fine. We can always come back to that. Probably over the top here, I'm going to do E to extrude, I to do an inset, and E to extrude back down. Nice. Let's create a staircase, and that's probably something that we can utilize a little bit later. So we're going to do this. Let's go E to extrude by 1, GX minus 1. And so we're making our staircase at the moment. Delete faces. If I select this edge and do a Control B, over here, there's a menu that'll pop up. Nope, wait, that way. I can now change that to custom, preset steps. There we go. And then we can come in, add in segments. Perfect, so now we've got a staircase. So let's go scale along the y-axis with this here. I'm actually going to select this face, or that face there, to selected. Let's go into 3D cursor, and we'll scale that puppy down. Bit of a stupid steep. It's a bit too steep, which is fine. So let's go into an array, edit, geometry, generate, array, and 1. Good staircase. And then we can bring that down, and that gives us that. Let's apply that array, select all, merge by distance, and also set that origin to that 3D cursor. Diary is genetic. It's always on cheese. Oh my goodness. That is brilliant. Hang on. I gotta send that to someone straight away. That's going straight to the pool room. Control V. Diary is genetic. Perfect. Thank you for that one. Building cool starships to the city build. From building... Yeah, well, but I mean, this is all part of the web series. You need to have, obviously, the ship fly into somewhere. And so that's why we're creating that environment to have that nice scale as it, like, approaches to show. It's a massive thing. You know, if you're looking at Endor, you know, when they're flying over Coruscant or wherever they're flying, yeah, it's a massive city there. That's all part of that environment. And so that's kind of like what I'm aiming for at the moment. So let's go something like this. Oh, you turd burger. I just realized that this floor is a different size to this floor. I hate you. So let's fake it. Delete vertices. We'll scale that down. Beautiful. Whatevs. Scale X. Let's go 1.5. Nope. Actually, yep. We'll go with that. Control A, apply the scale so we don't really have to worry about it later. Ugh, it's not the best. You know what? I don't care. I do care a little bit. I'm not going to lie. So let's go like so. This one here, E to extrude. This one here, we'll go E, Y. E, X. And now if we go into array, generate, array, nope. We go up, please, 1. So now if we grab this face, and then that'll tell us where it is on the x-axis. Then we go Control V, that'll bring it to there. Awesome. Let's grab that one, x-axis, E to extrude along the x-axis, and then Control V. So now these two faces line up perfectly. More like the crust of the planet. Got to have destination, exactly. What do you call a supervillain created with Blender? Scalators. Mass City, more like crust of the air. Cool, so we have now that, and we know that once I apply this array, these ones here are going to line up. How are we going to do this? I think we might have to fake this one. So Shift S, cursor to selected. And then with this staircase, it's just going to fudge it. This is our custom staircase, like right there. Awesome. And then that lines up close enough. Oh, actually, yeah, well, let's do that. Go Control C, Control V, because it's not the global. So let's go into global. There we go. Select that. Control V. That's the global minus X. Control V. Yep, better. And then we'll do the exact same thing we did just over here. To there, select that, Control C, Control V. So now that bottom floor has lined up, even though it's a different piece. This is where it's going to get poopy caca. Because what I need to do is obviously create a banister around. What is going to be the best way for that? Let's grab this. We will go deselect these ones. Oops. Deselect these ones. GG. GG. Oh, Control L hide. Let's clean this up. Clean this one up. Select all, merge by distance. And then we'll do GY. Whoops, GX. EY. Scale Y 0. Okay. And then we can select that. E to extrude. 0.1. And then that gives us that. It's not bad. What a good banister. Yep. I'm making a crafting game train thing cos board. Okay. Unknown 3D, welcome to the stream. Crafting game train. I think I know what you're saying. And that is awesome. Oblivion, though, is still like taking all my time up. I do want to get back into Star Citizen because that game is delish. We need to now go Alt-H and let's just fudge this, because the problem is as soon as I put in the piece that kind of like runs this way, I'm going to apply the array now, and then we can always clear it later. Let's do Control L. We're going to select all of these pieces. And then I am going to just press E to extrude, pull it down. And then that means we can grab these pieces here, G to the X, pull it out, Control L, GZ, bring it down, bring it wide. Nice, so now that has thickness, excellent. And then from here, just trying to talk out my thought process on how to create this. Let's go Shift D, rotate 90. So we now have this piece in here. And that piece there needs to come up to there. And then we go E to extrude along the Y-axis, please. X-axis, please. What if we did that? Once again, don't need to put too much detail into this because we are probably not going to see it. Does that work? Works like a treat. So let's grab that. And we're going to do a Shift D, Z, hold Control. Oops. Whatevs. And so now we've got staircase. Awesome. Brilliant. Let us just re-grab this piece up here. Shift D. That doesn't work. So let's go delete those vertices. And then we'll manually just pull that out. User. Go that way. E to extrude along the Y-axis. Why have I got a staircase there? I don't know. Is it? Oh, that's why. So really, we could extend that. I am going to leave that as is for now, because then we can put in an array, and then it just kind of like goes up. Hans says, oh yeah, there's a good chance you'll lose it all. Fair enough. It'll be good because I got a whole bunch of crud in my hangar from failed missions. Have you played Elite Dangerous? I have played Elite Dangerous. And I was like, it was okay. The first the first sci-fi games that I played was obviously EVE Online. What a classic that game that was. So I was playing EVE Online. And then I was also playing... What was I playing? Oh, X. The X series. So X2, X3. I did try and play Rebirth, but that game was just a mess. Do you know why Mario never had children with Princess? Because he didn't want his boy to be golden son of a peach. Perfect. Patrick Stout is here. Welcome to the stream, buddy. Listen to a woodpecker. Ah, I thought you were saying Woody Woodpecker. Trying to attract a mate by hitting metal exhaust pipe on a building across the way. Oh my goodness. That would be annoying. Having magpies stare you down, that's not fun. Okay, so perfect. One little building. I think later what we'll do is we'll create a whole bunch of parts just to kind of like put on the roof. And what I do want to do now is I'm actually going to select all these parts here. Let's do a Shift D, Alt S. Let's go this way. And then we're going to add our second material, which is just a glass, a sign. So now there is a glass on there. Problem is these building lights, I don't like them so black. Where is the problem on that? Because the texture is black. Does that mean the alpha comes in here? No. What about in here? No. Is white? Oh, go away. Is white the alpha or is black? Black is that. So that should go in there. If I put a multiplier in here, that goes into there, that goes into there. 1.1. 20. Ah. Come back to that. I don't have an answer for that one. I just don't like that it's just so dark. Let's select all U, cubic projection. And that's 1. So I am going to keep this piece. Give that to the building. U, I'm just going to go E to extrude, E to extrude. And then we're going to grab this piece here. Shift D, bring that down. Bring it up. Bring it over. One thing I haven't done is... Oh, no. Grab that. One thing I haven't done is added doors. So let's quickly slap those things on. You, sir, Control LP, separate by selection. And you two can join there. We want to add in some doors real quick. Doors. Do they go on? I think they go on this side. So let's give some space. Because you never give jury space. So if we have that. And then I'm just going to duplicate this face here. Scale. Nothing claustrophobic. I to do an inset. E to extrude. Lovely. Let's go GZ. Push that down. And might as well just give it some micro details. Even though we're not really going to see it. But it's not going to hurt. Perfect. Let's grab both of these pieces, Control L, GZ, Shift D, Shift D. Why is that? Why are you so low? Ah, because that's why. GZ. Perfect. And so we've kind of got that section in there like that. And then technically we could probably come in. Let's just go material underscore city light. And all it's going to be is an emission, maybe with a slight blue tinge. 5. And then we will go one right there. Let's do a cylinder. That is overkill. Delete vertices. Cylinder. Let's just go kind of like maybe an 8. You should make a building like the Gherkin. I mean, I don't see why not. Those London people. Rotate Y. I do want to go back one day. Let's do that. Assign. And then we'll bring that down as well. Shifty Z. Shifty Z. Shifty Z. Just grab that one and that one. Control L. Shifty Z. And I mean, this is kind of like just the side of the building. Perfect. U become minus. And then what we have is when we bring the sun down, -2, we're going to have these kind of like little blue areas. So I think this is where it's going to be important to put in just like greebles all around this place. 1989. Because when I was playing around with that lighting there, so this building, that does look delish. To me, it looks delish. And so I kind of want to keep that theme, especially of this city, to be the blue lights. We don't really see it. That's fine. But I mean, what we could do is in a previous many moons ago, for some reason I'm editing in this view, we created a building set. Now, obviously, because we're going to be really extending the housing market, the amount of buildings, trying to keep it as simple as possible. Let's go into the spin tool, bring all that. Doesn't need to be so much. Let's go 6. Auto merge, lovely. G to the X. And then if I go now, select all that. Let's give it our blue light, assign. And then maybe if we kind of just add in small touches like that, I think maybe that'll just bring a little bit together. Excellent architecture. You are full of lies. Cool, that material is now broken, but it semi-works. I'm going to buy that for $1. Let's grab that. We will do a Shift D. And let's just kind of like steal that. Shift D. We'll put one there. Last week, Towers of the Underworld had some nice examples of cities. Towers of the Underworld, that's a Star Wars one. Cartoon. Because I was crook as a dog last week, and I've only just watched Andor. So now we've got this piece here. So let's move that, Shift D. Move that, new collection. That one can be assets. Where this one here, let's select that. We're going to press space to search, convert to mesh, Control J to join. We now have building number 1. Shift S, curse word origin. Let's go into a cube. GZ1. Let's make this one. This is still 5 stories. Scale Y 0.5. something like this. Let's go, for every story is 0.2. So let's go 4. And then we will maybe bring it in. Let's get rid of these vertices here. Delete vertices. Control F, grid fill. Will it work? It sure did. Yeah. Completely agreeing, Dennis. What did the polygon say to the sculptor? Stop pushing my edges, man. Nice. Might need some lights inside to get rid of the blackish windows. Yeah, I think so. And I think that's why that blue section actually looked really nice in here, because we've got those lights in the back end. So maybe if it's, we actually put lights on the inside, but then, do we add floors? I don't know. So let's come into here. Just trying to think what is the best way. Maybe what would be the best way is let's pull this one out. Let's just grab this face, delete faces. I'm going to select this one, piece, separate by selection. Come into that piece there. Shift S, cursor selected, right click, set the origin 3D cursor. So it's just sitting there. I now want to pull it up a little bit. So what we're going to do now is kind of create a bit of a window template, and then that way we can just kind of slap it on. Would you say that vertex painting is pretty on point? Oh, how would you put that better? Nah, vertex painting. Yep, I was thinking of something else. I approve. Excuse me. From here, let's go into an inset. We will now delete these edges. So this is going to be our window, and we will now extend this frame. Let's grab this one, and that's going to push it on the inside. And so this is our main window pane. If we duplicate that, for instance, GX, what we could do to change this now is let's grab maybe these two, these three, Shift D, Y, scale these to the Z, GZ, bring it down. I'm going to put an edge loop through there, delete that one. And then from here, let's go like so. Shift D, just kind of creating a few variations now. I've been doing a lot of Google mapping. My favorite places to visit for inspiration is New York and like somewhere in Japan, just kind of like floating around somewhere. What's the 3D artist's idea of horror? The file corruption. File corrupted, yeah. That makes digital pointillism. Oh my goodness. Nice. I approve this message. Let's go into building. 2 more materials. Glass. Glass. Mate, sound like glass. Glass and lights. So the first one here is lights. Shift D, Y. Pull that one out, and that one is glass. Do the same, actually, do it like that. Copy material to selected. U, become the light. The light. And then we do a Shift D, Y, and you become the glass. So now we can come in, U, cubic projection, or whatevs. Let's apply that scale, U, cubic projection. A little bit out, but that's fine. Brian, I'm a beginner, and I'm kind of not understanding the shadow geometry nodes and what the differences are. No idea. Don't know about geometry nodes. But the shader nodes is all about materials. With geometry nodes, I'm out. We're kind of mentioning that right at the start of the stream. Let's, oh, actually, select. Nice. And then we can come into UV editing. Let's go ahead and select our blue lights. And then we can just zoom in somewhere. And that one can go there-ish. Then if we zoom in, that's annoying. That's weird. Something like that. And then that one there. Let's pick another rando. Here. So you can kind of see the UV there. Ah, no, we need some bright stuff. Right, the black, yeah. So I've definitely stuffed this material now, which is absolutely awesome. I'm so proud of myself. One. 10. Why? Why is that a thing? Cool, let's go with that. Does that now stuff up? No, actually that fixed up a lot. All right, let's go with that. Come in. So now we've got some window templates, and then this is where we can kind of like move around. I got Horizon and Duck 3 tutorials for geometry nodes. Absolutely. Metallic? No, so I've got a glass in front of it. Glass. Glass, mate. You're a glass. So if we kind of rotate that around, we should see shininess. Technically, I should probably create a value on light versus dark. So obviously if we kind of bring that down, the light shouldn't be on. But anyway, that's a future market problem. So if we run with this now, and we bring it like so, Shift D to the Z, 0.2. Let's grab both of these, Shift D Z 0.4, Shift D Z 0.2, sorry. And then we can kind of grab that. Did I? Nope. Then we can grab all this and create maybe something like so. Shift S, cursor to selected. Shift S, selection to cursor. Move this over. And then we do the same thing. Point to Alt R? No. Control? Shift R? Control R. What's the repeat thing? There's a repeat button. Shift. Oops. And so now we've got that. So when we come in and we select all this stuff, tab into edit mode, UV editing, select everything, come over, select the lights. Let's then go, oops, U, project from view. Hello? U, project from view. What's going on here? U, cubic projection. What have I done? Select. U, project from view. There we go. And so if we did something like that now, we came to render view, now we've got multiple windows. Scale it right down. and then randomize. If I press O, do we have randomize in this thing as well? Random. Ah, it doesn't do faces. You dog. That's a bit frustrating. That's fine. This is where we can kind of just come in, select some of these, just move them around so that we break up that repetitiveness. Beautiful. Oh, Alt F4. It is Shift R. Yeah, what the heck? Ah, I know what I did because I'm an idiot. Because I was pressing other things in between. This here, you become a building. Beautiful. And now let's go with this. Shift D to the X. GY. This doesn't work, so we're going to pull this out. GY. And then we can kind of grab this piece here, Shift D. Come there, mate. And then we're going to just, there you go on the roof. And I think this is probably going to be the best way on how we're going to do it, is to just slowly add in greebles here and there. Delete faces, and then we can select that. Control F, grid fill. Change that grid. Lovely. Let's grab all these again. Shift D, rotate 90, and put it like so. Nice. Let's come back into this building. I'm going to go Control L, Shift D, GZ5 just to move it up. P separate by selection. Shift S, cursor selected. Right click, set origin to 3D cursor. So when we come back to here, Shift S, cursor selected, right click, Shift S. I've lost it. It's over there somewhere. There it is. Selection to cursor. And then we can just kind of like copy what we've just done before. Put in our blue lines. Chicken burger. And we grab them. GZ. Control L. Let's do the same over here. And then maybe as well like this. Just in there to hide. Let's give us that. Perfect. Going to grab the roof here. And let's give it a bit of an extrusion. Press I to do an inset. And bring that back down. Perfect. And this is all going to be kind of like as we build. How to already did I joke in the days. Which Markham streams on Sunday. Hang on. What did the Blender user say when he heard mention what goes up must come down? Jeez. Hey, caramba. I did generate some images. Let me just crack them open. No, I didn't generate these ones. Can you like go away? Which ones did I didn't generate these ones. So let's go over to Midjourney, because I was kind of just like getting ideas on what to actually do. We go into create, Rocket League thumbnails. And so this is kind of like where I was getting some of my ideas from. I did make a bigger version somewhere, didn't I? Yeah, I love that. Let's put these in here. So this is kind of like where I was getting that smoky appearance. Yeah, maybe it's we throw in some balconies and stuff like awnings, just like we did in that other asset pack, but not to that extent. So let's do that. Actually, we'll do that here. Shift S, cursor to selected, and then we'll quickly make an awning. Because I mean, if we're going to be using these windows, we might as well use them as the template. And this is all it's going to be. GG. Like a short piece like that. What color? It's a good question. Let's go into new and we will go maybe just kind of like a dark grey. That's a dark purple, but whatevs. And then we'll bring up the roughness. I think it's just because the sun's right there. And that's just playing a little bit of havoc. And then, yeah, there we go. So if I just move that off to the side, what I can do now is I can select this, Shift S, cursor selected, Shift D, cursor to selected, and we do Shift S, cursor to selected, Shift D, Shift S, cursor to selected, and now that's already adding some variations to it. Hope they're well. Yes. Actually, no. Sick kids at the moment. Not my fault. I was sick last week, and now they've caught up, which is great. Let's go. Whoops. Shift S, cursor selected. Shift D, Shift S, cursor selected. Let's rotate Z 90 because they share the same origin point. So that's why it kind of just slots in together perfectly fine. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Let's bring that over here. Because once again, not going to go crazy with the details because at the end of the day, we're probably going to see it from like all the way back here as kind of like a ship comes across. So not being too overly concerned. But now that I'm looking at it, no, I don't think it's that big. Whatever, I think you're fine. My mom says I'm cool. Let's go C, select all that. U, make sure we go convert to mesh, just to apply any modifiers. That's there. And so now we've got two buildings. And so the hope is to kind of, let's just create, 10, 12 of them, give it some variation, and then we just build like so. Let's go like that. Let's go scale. Sorry, let's go GZ1. I hate you. GZ1. GZ1. Perfect. Good job. Let's go. Oops. Select all. Scale. Shift Z. This one here can be maybe a little bit taller. GZ.04. 0.4. And now that's got 7 floors. We need to make 6. Enter. Maybe what we can do is maybe create some modular pieces. Wait, when you say share the same origin point, are you talking Blender? Or I mean, technically they live at home, so they do have the same origin point. Green or red seems to be the favorite for awnings. Yep. Don't do that to me. Don't do it. Let's go Shift D. And this is pretty much all like so. Alt H. That's bizarre. Ah, that's why. It's like we're missing all the doors. Okay, go on. We can do this. And then from here we can go into edit mode. And then I'm just going to select what we need. Control L. Shift D. 0.2. Shift D. 0.2. 0.2. And then we'll just copy this bit. GZ.2. And so we have that, which is pretty... Oh. Oh, no. What's this piece here? Where'd that come from? Oh. I see, because I'm an idiot. Control L, delete vertices. Let's just bring those back. Control L, Shift D, Z, 0.2 to the minus. And then let's grab that one there. 0.2, 0.2. Shh. Perfect. And then that'll give us kind of that. And then this is where we can come in, add in some of those extra pieces. Is this building a little bit too small? I think it is. So let's go GY 0.5. It's fine. And then from here, we will go whoops. I just want to create this bottom face. Scale. So we'll do this. Let's go E. And then 2 new materials, actually 4 more materials. Light, city light, assign. So that's going to be a nice big bright blue bit behind that. Shift D, let's go scale. U become building and assign. E to extrude. Let's go Shift D and we'll just create a bit of an awning. E to extrude, scale. And so this is kind of like more important as well because I know what I need to do and what I don't need to do. So I can really focus on what I'm actually putting effort onto. Because there's no point in putting a stupid amount of effort on something that's not being seen. Let's grab that there. Shift D. Hold Ctrl. Perfect. Actually, can I fit 2 windows on here? I sure can. Shift DZ, 0.2 minus, Shift R, Shift R, Shift R, Shift R. Oh my goodness, I should have done that yonks ago. And then we're going to grab all these pieces. G to the Y. Period key. Perfect. Let's do the awning thing again. Shift S, cursor selected. Shift D, selection. Wait, whoa, 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 whoa. Undo. Shift S, selection. There we go. Oh, did it again. Cursor selected. Shift D. Perfect. Awesome. That works out really well. I don't have my blue light. You donkey. Give me my blue light back. Shift D. P separate by selected. Give me my blue light. There it is. Okay. Shift S. Whoops. Select this one. Select this one. Shift S cursor selected. Right click set origin. It's a 3D cursor. And then we can come in, Shift D, and just start placing these around the area a little bit. Hey, where's my staircase gone? Alt H. Phew. Okay. Cool, my stick is there. Anyway. Yeah, donkey. Perfect. But yeah, I think definitely we'll probably be coming back a little bit later and just kind of like dumping stuff on. If you're just using this for a movie, why bother modeling this and just get a building add-on? Because I can't share... Because I can't share like that file with peeps. So the idea would be obviously try and create a tutorial out of this and then put the files out there so that people can use it themselves. So, but yeah, no, I agree. And I have been looking at stuff like that. As kind of previously mentioned, like this animation is almost like the last hurrah. And then we'll see what happens afterwards, see how successful this thing is. All right, let's move that one to there. Okay, what are we looking at like now? Let's go into -2. Oops, let's quickly UV unwrap these pieces. So UV unwrap. Can I do just individual origins? That'll make life a lot easier. Rotate 90. Awesome. Let's go with that. That semi works out okay. Let's have a look what this looks like so far. So if I were to grab all that, convert to mesh, Control J to join, and then we move it to here. And obviously what we can do is with this one here, let's just go GX, whoops, GX, scale, Shift Z. That'll kind of do that. Which I guess is okay. And then if we grab this, let's throw a mesh, Alt G. How, from afar, that looks okay. Let's just do a quick save. What the, why is the origin point all the way up there? Shift S, cursor selected, right click, set origin to 3D cursor. And so, what if we built something like that, maybe a town square, and so I'm just going to use these 3 buildings, not being too fussed. Let's select this piece here. Let's go into, what's that, proportional editing, and then go random. If I go G, and we just did that for now, for instance, then I were to grab, this giant get stuff building. Actually, let's grab all that, Shift D, convert to mesh, Control J to join. And then we did something like that. What is that looking like? Why are you like that? Shift N. Ah, because there's a face right here. Delete. Delete. I think there is. Why are you stupid? Oh, that's all wrong. Anyway, So now we've kind of got that. I'll make sure I reload. Oops. Let's come over into layout. Make a little bit more sense. And so we've got all these little tiny buildings around. Is it on both sides? It is on both sides. Why? Managed by distance. Okay. Well, that fixed up that problem. Then Shift S cursor selected, and then if we were to go cube, we did our material. Let's go surface volume 0.001, 0.01. Am I in cycles? I am in cycles. Let's go, okay, let's go 0.05. Yeah, it's too much fog now. 0.02. Is it too much blue? I think it might be. Red Rooster injured Clucky. Yes, they did. A little heart attack. Oh, I got myself the course. Jeez, that was quick. Looks like the oldest house. Being on a blender with it lady. What? You're off control. I don't know what's going on. Oh, yeah, this is 4.4. Felicia Clouds. Yes. They're lying around somewhere. What about... Hang on. I'm just trying to get a bit of a scale of what it looks like. Come around from the back end. To me, that's okay. To me, this isn't okay. Are you okay, buddy? Merge by distance? Merge by distance? I've hurt this thing somehow. I don't know. Anyway, okay, back to this. So that looks great. Let me go ahead and delete all the buildings, and we'll bring these back. You. Okay, that. Those are my original 3 buildings. And then let's maybe just edit these buildings by them. Fire, you fat fingers. Do you know how the Empire sends income to their troops? With PayPal. Nice. I approve. Come around from the back end. Yeah, well. Can't say you know how that is, but because that makes it sound really bad. So, whoops. Let's go like that. And then I'm going to keep these 3. Let's go Shift D. I'm going to push it back. Cursor selected. And then from here, let's just maybe give it something like a bit different to break up the silhouettes. Let's go like this. This section in here. Let's duplicate that. Oops. And then this will extend. Let's do a Marco Classic. GZ. Actually, whoops. And we'll bring this one right down. All I'm trying to create is something that's got a bit of a different silhouette, so that when you do look from it far away, you're like, oh, that's a different building. But it's not. It's the same building, but with crud over the top. That's the idea. And then we can do the same like that, I reckon. Control J to join. Control J to join. Control J to join. Let's make sure we didn't add in extra random materials. We sure did. Great. Is that now blue? It is not. Let's remove that one, and then we will also remove that one. That's going to be now that color, which is fine. Control L, and we'll just move that to building. Assign. Yeah, I like that idea. I think we need to make some different variations of this one. So let's grab this. We're going to grab all these back pieces. Whoa, the pinch is real. And we're just going to move this out. Let's grab these faces, GX.5. And then we'll put an edge loop through here. Let's grab these, E to extrude 0.2. And then that way I can now grab all these pieces, Control L, and we'll move them like here. GY. So we've got that. Where is, put that there. Shift D, Shift S, cursor to selected. Rotate Z 180. And we can just dump that like so. Let's grab this piece on top. Actually, that's a good idea. Let's do I to do an inset, E to GZ. I to do an inset, GZ. That'll give us that kind of roof. I, E, ooh, ooh, ah, wada, wada, bing, bang, ooh, ah. I'm now questioning as well, something outside of Blender stuff. Do I try and get my C license for soccer? The thing is it costs $2.5 grand. And I'm like, oof, that's a lot of money. FFF. Yeah, nice. Oh, that's great. And then here, let's scale that down. And we'll do E to extrude. Shift D, scale on the Y-axis. Yeah. So that's what that's trying to think about. If I go down that route as well, do I want to keep coaching to that level? What kind of license is that? So it is B license, which means I can coach at a first grade men's level. At the moment, I got C license, which pretty much allows me to coach juniors. But yeah, I'm like, do I go the next level? Whoa. Control, select all that. Control LP, separate by selection. UU, Control J to join. Nice, perfect. And then we can even come in. I can select Control L. Poopy caca, poopy caca. Let's go like so. Control L. I hate you. Control L H to hide. And then we come like that. Shift D, X. Alt H. It's off center. I don't care. That's fine. Will you release these? Yeah, I will. Yep. Once the main shot is done, there, yeah, I'm just going to put them out there. Whatevs. The lights themselves, I'm going to work on the material. I'm not a big fan of the material. I want it to be darker. I don't know what's going on here. What have I done? Shift N. Merge by distance. I've done something. What have I done? H to hide? Yeah, there's multiple faces right there. Is there? Oh, hang on. G. Idiot. I just had faces on top of each other. That's what I thought it was. Why didn't anyone say anything? Oh my goodness. Making mistakes here and there and everywhere. Yeah, I want this to be darker. I think it's just the sun being a jerk. If we were to come into film, and we brought that down to like 0.2, yeah, much better. Oh. Where's my text gone? You donkey. Anyway, got rid of that. So, I mean, there's quite a few buildings there now. There probably needs to be some more of these big get stuff buildings. But, I mean, ultimately, we kind of already have what it takes to build the city. Loose edges. Yeah, no, it was just I duplicated a mesh and put it and left it because I'm an idiot. The big problem as well is I don't have anywhere where ships can land. I didn't think about that. Probably should think about that. Let's come back to that. So the next thing, oops, Shift S. Let's go into here. Shift S, cursor to world origin. Let's do this. I'm going to go GZ1. User can be 2 meters. What's 2 meters? 0.2 is... Okay. 20 meters. I think that's 20 meters is pretty good. What's the width of a roadway? 20 meters? Let's go. Add some overhanging landing pads. I think so. It needs to be some sort of like warehouse photos or something over the top. Let's go E to extrude. Oh, I forgot. I stream on Twitch as well. I have not been looking after those people. Create a dashboard, live stream. Do we have anyone over there? Nah. Oh, Mr. Emerger's over there. Sweet. Let's now go with this. What? No way. Let's go scale on the X. And then we put an edge loop through here. Scale on the Y. Bring that puppy in here. And then we bring that in like so. Scale Y. So this is our roadway idea. And then, actually, I'm just going to move these pieces. Where's my staircase? Right there. Move to assets, please. I have one more piece that's an asset. What's that? Oh, that's that. G, G. Let's go ahead and select selected objects, G, just get out of here, mate, and then we'll come back in. Let's have a look at Rooney. So now we need to create some sort of roadways. We'll leave that as is. Actually, I might just scale that on the X, scale this on the X, scale this on the Y. Perfect. Going to use that part? Yes, absolutely I will be. From here, Shift D, Z, Y, delete vertices. That, and then we'll do a Control B. And we're going to have this. We will do that, Control B to select that. Now I can select these here, and we go delete faces. So what I'm doing is creating the barriers. Let's go 1.5, 0.15, individual origins, scale Y. It's 1.5 meters high. I think that's okay. Bring it back down. Then from here, what's going to be the best way? Let's go select all this, scale Y, sorry, scale X by 4, scale X by 2, 3. I think that'll look good. And then let's just put an edge loop 10 times, 20 times, enter, 20 times, enter, 20 times, enter. And then on here as well, 20 times and enter. So now when we put that path in, it'll actually curve around. Look up Hotel Baja. Okay, let's have a look. Abu Dhabi. Oh yeah, that thing. Yeah. I mean, we could. It's actually, this is actually fairly small compared to this thing, this big one, I think. Typical Australian road is 3.5 meters, which I'd convert to normal feet. Normal? You guys are the weird ones. 3.5, which is 7. I've made this 20 meters wide, so that's fine. 2 lanes, good enough. What I need to do now is we need to add in some lighter Roonies. And so the way we'll do that is I'm just going to zoom in. Let's go scale on the Z-axis. G to the X. That's going to go like so. Perfect. And what I need to do now, oh yeah, baby. Oh, I miss orthographic mode, just to let you know, Spooky. Let's go rotate 90. Nope. Rotate 60. Yep. I kind of wish... There we go, something like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to grab these vertices here. Let's do an I to do an inset, E to extrude. And then we probably might have to put in lights along the way. And I think this is where geometry nodes would be very helpful. Do I have a metal? And then light blue. A sign. What does that look like? Let's bring back -5. Okay. We will change this material duplicate, and we'll call this street lights, and we'll make it white and make it 500. Perfect. From here, let's go into an array, generate array. We're going to go 10. All the way to the end. And once we know that 10 is good, beautiful, we're going to take 1 away. And so now we've kind of got these lights. Which I don't like in the slightest. 15 freedom units. I use orthographic mode all the time. It's just not regular camera. Nah, I miss it. I think it's just delish. So let's go delete on them. I think what I need to do, period key will zoom in. Am I the right way? I am not the right way. Am I the right way? I am the right way. Let's go scale, scale, rotate 30. E to extrude 0.1. Shift D, rotate 60 to the minus. E 0.1. E point, 0.1 to the minus. And then we do the side view again. We'll do that. GG. Pull it up. Do that again, like so. Let's go into our face select. I, E, E, E. Ah, get stuffed. So the reason why they're not going the right way is because the normals are wrong. So let's do a Control N. Nope. Let's do an Alt N. Shift N. E. There we go. Better. Assign. Now, how does that look? 1000. Then let's duplicate this. And we go into wireframe mode, Shift D, Shift D, Y. Shift D, Y. Then we can get rid of that. Now the only thing that we don't have is like on and off ramps. Once again, geometry nodes would fix that up. I reckon I like where this is going. Where is this? Oh. I think the underneath is a bit boring. So let's grab all that. E to extrude, and we're going to scale it on the y-axis. Yep, that's much better. And then let's do a Shift D. Edge loop, Control B. Through there, Control B. E. Scale, scale Y. I think I went too far, which is fine. That's me. Delete faces. Now we've got these pieces here. Control L. Building. light blue. Let's go assign GZ, and I've got a feeling what would look better is actually having them on the side of the road. Oh yeah, let's do that. Edge loop, GG, Control B. Let's deselect these. Ooh, I don't know if this is going to work. Maybe, might. Nathan. Whoops, let's do it. I. Do that. Did that come in or out? That went in. Assign. What does that look like? Needs to be here as well then. Control B. I'll make this one a little bit bigger. E. Assign. Okay, Control S to save. Let's try this. Wish I could have that roadblock and satisfactory. Those are going to be running on a hefty power bill. Time for lights being LEDs if they were renewable energy source. Yeah, renewable. Go gas. Yo gabba gabba. Now that I'm looking at this, really, the outside should be there as well. So let's deselect them. That and that. All right, let's see how this plays out, this one. Where are the rest of my buildings? Far too far out. What is that? That's that. Let's get rid of that one. So, Shift S, cursor. Let's go into curve, Bezier. I hate you. Alt G. No, I don't use Bezier. I use the NURBS curve. Alt G. Because NURBS is my drug of choice. Okay. So we've got that. From here, this, add array. No, add curve, deform curve. That goes before the array because then we select that. And then we go Alt G. Fixed count will be fit curve. That goes that way. What does that look like? Why is there only one little bit lit up? That's why. Control, oops. Convert to mesh. Control J. And now we've got kind of like this nice highway. Oh, my good back. Why was the Bezier upset against you? Because your words hit a nerve. What? What is that? Oh my goodness. What? So, oh, you just hit me for 6 now. So all these have these blue lines. I think I might have overdone it. This is nice and subtle. There is a nice building in here. What I feel like is a double cut roll, chicken lettuce, onion, mayonnaise. I should save this. And then go File, Save As. Build that city. And I've got this saved to OneDrive, and I'm glad I've paused OneDrive for 8 hours. Nerve. Nervous. Jeez. CAD software. Oh, okay. So we're in that secondary file now. And so the idea was to, build. Oh, you know what? Actually, what are you under? Move, new collections. You're extra. Extra. You're in the buildings. Okay. All right. Let's cook with gas. What are you? Cool. I'm going to hide all my assets. Extra can stay. Shift S, cursor to selected mesh plane. We are going to do this the old-fashioned way. 40. 100. Good old-fashioned way. Right-click, subdivide. We are going to go into a particle simulation. Yes. I haven't done this for yonks. Hair. Source. Faces. Yes. Jitter. No. Children. Is it hair? Or is it an emitter? I think it's an emitter. Okay, emitter. Start frame. 1. Lifetime. 500. Number. 1000. Cool. Render. Path. Collection. Buildings. Scale is stuffed. 1. We now need to actually, let's grab you and you. Move. No. Poopy caca. Hang on. Hide. You. Move. Move. New collection. Whip. Shift D. Convert to mesh. Control J to join. I think you're one piece. Excellent. You can be moved to you and you. Go new collection and you are heroes. Whip. Go away. So now when we go Alt H, we don't have the big buildings anymore. Facing the wrong way? Sure, you jerkosaurus. Let's bring that back up. I'm very rusty. Rotation. It is an emitter. Randomize? No. $5,000. And then this is where as well. So, because I've done that, I think I should be able to... Because if I kind of go like this, and then we create a vertex group, no painting, no building, assign, into here, density, no building. Can I go invert? No. Remove, Control I, assign to building, and then we've got that path coming through. Awesome. Shift D. Let's go rotate. Yo, Gabba Gabba! Luna! And then let's change this to 10. Oh my goodness, that looks sexy. Not gonna lie. Wasn't expecting that. Not gonna lie. That actually looks pretty schmick. Not gonna lie in the slightest. Control numpad 0. Come on, camera. Oh yeah, can't select the camera. Oh, there's my text. Oh, you dumb donkey. Move. Whip. Okay. Can we move in a bit? And then we come into here. Let's go into shading. Do I still have that material? I do. 0.001. 0.005. Anti-apostrophe, turn that down. Nah. 0.95. F12. Oh, yeah. Absolutely, Dennis. Low wells. Welcome. Not going to lie. Super surprised. This as well. So if I just select the cube, hide for a sec. This is now where we can come in, add in some area lights, rotate X 180. GZ, just push it up a bit, scale that sucker up, go to 500. $1,000. And then when we go, this technique I got from, let me see if I can find him. What's his name? This guy. This jerk. So, what I'm about to show you, I'm pretty sure I got it from him. Let's go now 0. And then this is where we're going to have kind of like lights illuminating. So let's go Alt D, Alt D, Alt D, Alt D. And then that's just giving us like pockets. Can I go select all these, scale? What happens? And then we've got various thingamabobs like that. Let's go GZ, bring it up. And if we change the value for 1, we should change them for all. Perfect. Love it. Grouse. Delightful. F12. Yes. That guy. Yeah, definitely so much more to add. Alright, that's pretty good though. Why is there a black hole there? I don't know. $5,000 is probably a bit too much. If we went down to 1,000, And it was all through there. Let's do an Alt-H. What if we now world and we went like 10? See, the ground needs to be done up as well. What if H to hide, we select this? Because at the moment, what do we got? 2,000? Let's go 10,000. What's the worst that could happen? Yeah, everything's on top of each other, so that's too much. 6,000. Random order, yeah. Even distribution, no, turn that off. Random. Grid. Nope, random. What would happen if I went right-click subdivide? Not a lot, okay. I can actually hear the fan on my computer going now, which is cool. I don't normally hear it. Whoa! Ooh. Pick random. I'm just seeing object rotation. If I turn that off. Yeah, okay. Ah, so it doesn't randomize that. Okay. And then obviously we've got like, with this, you can change the amount of objects. Holograms too. Yes. Don't forget the big floating blimp. New life in space colonies. Yeah. And then I have a feeling like, what if we did something like Gigantor like this? And then it just casts a giant shadow across everything. F12. That haze is too much. There's too many of these buildings here. But we've got a nice roadway. Yeah, okay, I'm pretty happy. I'm happy. Are you happy? Tired is what I am. Whew. All right, I think we've done a lot tonight. Did we? I think we did. Yeah, I might put the raw file up on Patreon and then go download that, have a play with it. We'll do that tomorrow. I am going to try and work out how to do this in geometry nodes rather than particle. I don't know how. I don't know what that looks like. But this works really well. I'm actually really happy with it. I think we need some sort of like sky bridges happening as well. Something's missing. It's not enough. But if we went kind of like this one, and if we got rid of if we just went perspective, yeah, you see kind of like this view here. And I'm just kind of like thinking about, this doesn't work. This kind of works. But then again, we're missing like landing pads. We're missing industry. That's the kind of stuff we're missing. So it's almost, we need like another tile. Got an idea. I don't have my old Kitbashing set on here. Ah, poopy caca. So, what I want to do for fun. I know the pieces that I'm after. Maybe not. Oh, where are they? I've lost some pieces. Ooh. Okay. Let's add some extra. I was going to stop. No, I'm not. Let's go into right click, new collection. Collection 8. We're going to call this one Greebles. So, you. Let's pick up some other pieces that I'm just going to kind of like represent as buildings at the moment. Actually, that would be something interesting to put in, but we won't. Because this is all too clean at the moment. Ah, here they are. These are the pieces that I was thinking. Perfect. What? What? No way. Let me just bring all these in. And then I can show you what I'm thinking. Okay. You're all in Greebles. Excellent. Shift S, cursor to selected. And then I'm going to select all these. Shift S, selection to cursor. From here, I'm actually going to Shift D to duplicate. Back into the particle settings. Duplicate this particle system, and this one is going to be called Greebles. Down into collection, we're going to change this to Greebles. Oh, what? Let's get rid of that one. And now we've got the ground covered. Okay, that piece there is ugly, which is fine. Delete. Nope. Delete. Delete. So now we've kind of got that. Awesome. Let's select that one again, and we're just going to go to 1,000. And that'll break up the ground a little bit. We will get rid of field weights. Vertex groups, we'll get rid of that one so that it actually comes across. So that means now I think we can probably bump up this number. 2,000. And then this will now have stuff under the roadways. Still though, yeah, got to break it up some of it. I like it though. It's great. Parks under domes. Yeah, and I think that's where maybe some painting would come to help. If I go 4,000, let's go down to 1,500. Let's see, but far away, that actually looks all right. F12, F12. Ah, that's actually pretty good. All right, I'm done. I'm actually really, really happy with that. I reckon that needs to be dark. Yeah. But then as well, I think Control L hide. Control L hide. Let's go into select. New material. Assign. Is that lighter? No. You become building. That's better. I'm happy. Love it. That's good. I'm glad. Twitch people don't care. Why not use... You know what? I haven't used that in yonks. I don't even have it installed on this machine yet. Far out. All these add-ons. I did actually see something came up on my YouTube feed for that. Oh. Ooh. Okay. So, I'm liking this. I think I might work on it through the week. See, I will check the flex again. Because I normally always get chips add-ons as well. He's a good guy. Reminds me I still need to buy KitUps 3. Yeah, I got to get back into all that stuff. The question is, yeah, do I render in Blender and just like deal with it? Playing around with Character Creator 4, it looks nice in Blender, and the render times weren't too bad. So I'm actually really happy with this. Okay, let's call it a night. If you're new to the channel, welcome, subscribe, do all that jazz. Help me get to the 100,000 mark. I will try my best to post more videos. Yeah, let's call it a night. Thank you very much, guys. Au revoir. Bonjour. Have a great night.